Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on SimSpeed TV. A lot of you have already started chatting to me, so that's awesome. I'll get to those messages a little bit later in the broadcast, so keep them coming. Welcome to round 2 of the 2024 ANZ Series GT3 National Championship. What a mouthful! Coming to you live from the Red Bull Ring in Austria, nestled at the in the foothills of the Styrian Mountains ranges. That even virtually looks stunning, that Jay will probably bring up a little bit later. Speaking of stunning, Cody Dee's performance in the lone Lamborghini at the Nürburgring last week was just that, taking maximum points in the round and leaving an on-track statement to his competitors. His teammate, Dylan Burse, played the team game awesome, ensuring Eclipse Racing are on top of the championship standings after round 1. Hello, I'm your host, Aaron Obersteller, and doing an amazing job behind the scenes and bringing you this visual feast is the overworked and underpaid Jay Kennedy, and joining me in the commentary is the limiter bashing Daniel Yemen. Welcome.
Cheers for the introduction there, Aaron, and yeah, welcome back after just a week off for the drivers and for us here in the production side of things for the broadcast here tonight. Round 2 gets us underway as we continue this GT3 National Championship, new for 2024, thanks to ANZ Series and Motorsport Australia as well. Qualifying has just gotten underway for half of our field here at least tonight. We'll get to them in a couple of minutes, and in fact, would you even put them on screen right now? But there are 2 groups of qualifying to get through, so it will ease our way into things, I guess, in a sense, before we go into our 15-minute sprint, 45-minute feature format. But once again, taking a moment to appreciate the venue and where we're sitting here today in the foothills of the European Alps here. Aaron, as we zoom down here on this western edge to the Red Bull Ring and Spielberg. A checkered history here at the circuit. You can see the outline of the original Oschersleben Ring there off to the left of the circuit, and then joining up with what became still used in the modern configuration. But yeah, the fact that this circuit lived, died, lived again certainly is quite the interesting tale of this place here, now revered around the world for various categories of motorsport at the highest level, internationally speaking.
Oh, and also, Dan, the MotoGP as well comes here as well. A little bit of different track variation to that, but yeah, this on paper, when you look at this track, it looks simple, but I can tell you it's definitely not. It's got long straights, it's got highly technical turns, uphill and downhill braking zones. Expect a lot of off tracks tonight, especially in race room. But when it comes to qualifying, I think these guys are going to be looking for every single inch of racetrack. So we might see some guys not actually get a qualifying run in here because of that. 10 turns, 7 of them. Well, my graphic's just gone there, but 7 of them are going to be right-handers. So I don't want to be a left-hand rear around this track. Average speed, I think, is about 175. I've been looking at. Overtaking zones 1, 3, 4, 10, anywhere you can put it. I think all the right-handers are pretty much overtaking zones. You just saw on the track map there that it's 4.3 kilometers long. Home of the Formula 1, and average time around here is about a 129, which I think is going to be eclipsed here tonight. Dan?
It's a rapid course, yeah, moderate length and a lot of high speed makes up how things go. As you can see there, sitting at round 2 for the season. We do slow down things a little bit with an extra week off. Funnily enough, a certain thing like the Australian Grand Prix does mean we need to sort of press the pause, but then we'll get back into a double header on the 30th of March and the 6th of April coming up after that. And then again, actually take a week off, then do another double header on the 20th and 27th of April there for the Laguna Seca Road Atlanta. Basically looks a bit of an American venture there after an opening trio of European, Germany, Austria, Germany, and then off to the US of A for 3 rounds, and then bringing it home here to Australia for the final leg across May and June. And a reminder there on screen, if you missed that opening round, well, yeah, as you kind of also alluded to, Aaron, pretty calm, controlled, and confident from Cody Deeth for the Eclipse Sim Sports number 3 machine, choosing the Lamborghini, and the lone one to do so as well, as you said, but came out with maximum points there, and that's a healthy looking 62-point lead after the opening round from his teammate Dylan Burst. And then stepping further on back, we see Zach Rattray White, Gianni Litsu, and Matthew Dench to round out the top 5 points, though there, just 4 of them separating 3rd through 5th.
Yeah, this standings, just going back to Cody Deeth there, 305 points is the actual maximum you can get out of a round. You get 5 points for qualifying, 100 points for the first leg, the first round, and then for the feature race another 200 points. So he cleaned up. As we go through from Jacob Todd down to 10th, Jamie Christensen, not many points in it there, but everyone in the top 10 had a very, I would say, uneventful round, which is what you actually want in this category. So if you go down the championship points a bit further, you'll see some tales of woe. But I'm looking forward to tonight. The Red Bull Ring, as we see there on the screen there he is there, the bull that everyone wants to see. I'm really looking forward to what we're about to get into tonight. I've had some premonitions about what's going to go on. I was talking to Jay off the commentary just before about it. I hope it doesn't happen, but if anything happens in turn 2, it wasn't me, Dan.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah, we're expecting a bit of a draft racing action tonight, at least cars staying pretty well packed together. We'll see if that plays out over the course of the races once qualifying gives us a bit of an idea of raw one-lap pace at least. And yeah, we're just about halfway through the first group's allocation of time here in qualifying, and then we'll get into it. Yeah, 15-minute flat-out sprint, and then a 45-minute feature race with the expectation of a pit stop thanks to the fuel tank restriction being at 50%, which should get us about half an hour's running in these GT3 class cars. And if you missed it last week as well, fixed setups for this ANZ Series GT3 National Championship provided by setup building team at Hymo Setups. So it will hopefully keep things nice and even, and also critically is going a bit of a different way in terms of balance of performance by doing it through the car setups rather than the BOP tweaks that are available, such as power and weight modifications to these cars. So we'll hope to see these drivers are able to demonstrate some different strengths and weaknesses of the vehicles, but all in all, yeah, still deliver a good race. And given what we saw, yeah, Lamborghinis, Audis, Mercedes, Porsches all looking fairly evenly strong. And in fact, going literally to last week, Lamborghini, Audi, Porsche, Ferrari, you have to get to P5 for a second Ferrari. So in terms of manufacturer representation and balance, looking pretty good there. 5 manufacturers in the top 7 last week at the Nürburgring.
Yeah, massive shout out to Hymo for setting it with these setups. Normally you have a little bit of balance performance issues round to round. Man, that was whatever they brought to the table was excellent. Speaking of those guys, they're one of our big sponsors, Hymo, for bringing us all the balance performance like you were talking about to the GT3s on track that you see. Shout out to Burnley Motor Group. Give him a burl. He's one of our other sponsors out there. Trophy Hub, First Take Photography, Motorsport Australia. Thank you. There, you guys couldn't have done this. Race Labs for your overlays and iRacing. I think I've got them all there. Dan, I'm not quite sure, but hey, before I get back to you there, I've just seen in the chat everyone's gone bananas. I'll just go through that now. Is Brad Newman racing? Yes. Commission. Yes, I'd love to take some of that, but unfortunately not. What have we got down here a bit further on? Hey, put some questions in the chat. I'll answer them as best we can. Me and Dan will. I'm looking forward to having a chat with you guys. We sort of missed that a little bit last week. Gianna Latsu says doing okay. Yeah, he's in that doing okay team livery as well. So yeah, throw through some chat and we'll get onto that shortly. But at the moment, qualifying, how's it looking?
So far, our opening group of drivers currently consisting of 14 who have set times so far in the session for this week's racing and for the rest of the season, we would expect at least. Qualifying groups being defined by championship standings, or for those that didn't show up and race for round one. They're joining this opening group to set the stage here. Currently sitting just after 8:30 p.m. in sim, although the clock is currently static, so drivers in Group 2 won't get any advantage or disadvantage from it, and it's looking nice and chilly out there, so yeah, a lot of grip available to these drivers, and meaning that our best time here, sitting 1:29.052. I expect we'll be seeing 1:28s as a result come Group 2, but it's going to be Jacob O'Reilly holding down the top step of the tree for now in the leading Ferrari 296 GT3. And I can actually say it's a Ferrari lockout of the podium positions for now in qualifying based on these Group 1 drivers. But then you've got yourself a trio of Porsches to back them up straight afterwards as well, Aaron. So it is definitely a Porsche and Ferrari party here in Group 1. There is just a single car outside of those two selections. The 92 of Caleb High is blocking the Audi R8 GT3 along with many of his Clips Esports teammates.
Let's jump on the Audi R8 here and see if he can get that up the grid a bit, because he's the lone one who was qualifying and just absolutely monstered by the Ferraris and Porsches around him. Yeah, this is looking good. I'm looking at times dropping at the moment. That 1:29 lap from Jacob O'Reilly is actually his PB from practice, so stepping up. I don't know where he pulled that from, but that's going to take a little bit of beating. That should see him in at least in the top 7 or 8. So when the second group comes out here, he's putting down some really strong times here. As I said in the top of the broadcast, a 1:29 is where you want to be, and that's exactly where every single driver is at the moment. So yeah, the sprint race is going to be just that, an absolute sprint for 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be curious to see how much the drivers feel the draft. There was some comments last week that, yeah, draft, unfortunately, not as effective as you might think, even if you're sitting up behind drivers right in front of your gearbox, pretty much. Stu Kang, though, jumps up into P5, so that's one of the Ferraris going to break up the trio of Porsches that's trying to get onto the provisional podium step. As O'Reilly pressing on here. Not seeing any personal best sectors on my end, at least. So I don't think this will be the flyer that Jacob was hoping for, but can set this one up again here to go for, although he's going to move to the middle for a moment. And yeah, 29.2. So he kept at it there on that one, Aaron, but a little shy, just under 2/10 of being able to improve. And then got to make sure he doesn't overdrive turn 1. That looked all right, because once again, turn 1, not one place I would consider too much a concern of overtakes, but certainly a place where you can fire it in way too hot, try to overcommit and be burned by the off-track limits and that big sausage curve.
20 meters,
don't forget.
You think 20 meters is not going to make a big difference? It makes a massive difference into turn 1. If you miss that braking market, you're going straight ahead. I don't know what's further down that way. You probably run into the hills or something down there. I don't think there's an airport or anything, but not much runoff. In the chat at the moment, I had a question from the BG36. Do they run traction control and ABS in GT3 or iRacing? Yes. And I can tell you it can be fairly annoying at times when that traction control kicks in and you really don't want it to. And Chris Noble asked how good is it, and it's yeah, like I said, it's pretty rubbish at times, but it helps you at the same time. I don't know what your experience with the traction control is, Dan, but I'm not a big fan.
Depends on the car, I find. There are certain cars like the Porsches here that we're watching in the hands of Marino Morella, or say the Mercedes, Audi, Lamborghini, and you might be getting a bit of a clue here. I'm talking mostly naturally aspirated motors. I find they're generally not as prone to TC aggravation because they don't have a turbocharger spooling up additional engine torque. We've been given a 2-minute call from race control, so at 19 minutes remaining in the session, I do believe, is when we'll see the flag flown. So drivers now getting ready to start either their penultimate or final qualifying laps here in Group 1, at least. As we'll eye in on Caleb Hyde's here, fine. So you can see he's sitting P9 and also following around Dylan Shepherd, who's P10 in this group so far. Just inside half a second off of O'Reilly's provisional pole time as well. So we'll see if these two cars both commit. Shepherd in the 43 for blackout OPR. I'm being told that Hyde's actually on that last lap was an improvement for the 92 Eclipse. Audi can't confirm, picked up about 0.04 of a second to jump to P9 there, which would have put him ahead of Shepherd. May have also had to beat Harrison Mitchell, but I don't think so, looking at the times. Yeah, We've just been ahead of Mitchell when he said that one previously. They'll press on. We'll check in further up the road real quick here. That's all, Aaron. Simon Chadwick.
Jump onto the 606. Yeah, Chadwick's on there, but I think the 606 Samuel Sproul is on for. Oh no, he's just cooked it as I said that. I apologise. He was on for a 129, low 129, which would have eclipsed his time, but that was not to be. Sorry. Back to you.
Yeah, 130.127 for Sam Sproul. So unfortunately, that was quite the big error if that was the case.
Big moment. Yeah, big moment, turn 9.
I'm also seeing here, last time Seth Brown went out, which she's coming out of the pits now, so it might have been a little while ago, fastest final sector of everyone in this opening group. Although he's just come out of the pits and we've got 20 seconds left. So these drivers streaking across the line now are going to get one more chance, which means it's going to be Sean Madison, number 60, at the back of this group for Alpha Venturi. But everyone here will keep our eyes on for now, Aaron, see if they've got one last run in it where they can improve, focusing here on Marino Morella for starters. The personal best opening sector last time around the ring, as there is the call and confirmation from race control.
So Morello is actually catching the back of Kobe Williams at the moment, so he might get a little bit of a draft as you come down into turn 9, but not too much. He's going to have to do this by himself. It looks like he's on for a time here. It's going to be actually like a cracker. Like, we're talking a 10th here, and a 10th will move you up the grid a couple of spots. I'm pretty sure Jacob O'Reilly's got that first position, or provisional, until the second group goes out there, under wraps. But yeah, Morello just checking as he goes through. It's looking good still.
I'm not seeing any greens or purples, unfortunately, for Morello. No. We might want to flick forward to Teo Sorono as hopefully maybe a bit of psychic prediction. I'm seeing at least one PB sector for the 111 from Altus Australia here. Currently back of Group 1, apart from Simon Chadwick, unfortunately here. So looking to try and step forward is Teo, is running the edge of the track limits. That looks to be good, though, I think. So he'll keep the foot committed. 29.5 will jump Samuel Sproul, so gets a spot at the end of the session, and not seeing any other improvements. So I think we are going to be pretty safe to call it there as everyone makes it their way across the line. It's now up to the drivers in Group 2 to stand by, yeah.
Yeah, done and dusted in the first qualifying leg there. I'll let you go through that, mate, while I do some pots and pans stuff in the background.
Sounds like a good idea. So indeed, Jacob O'Reilly hanging on to provisional pole from Group 1 on the 29.053. We'll see if that stands the test of time in Group 2, but nearly a 10th and a half clear is looking promising for O'Reilly. Seth Brown in behind him there for Altus Australia, the next of our Ferrari 296, with Danny Davidson making it an all-Ferrari top 3 as well, sitting there in the 755. Kobe Williams, first of our Porsche 911 GT3s, sitting in P4 at this stage, with Chu Kang getting around your top 5 of the Ferrari there. And then Marino Morella and Zach Smith making that next 2 of our Porsches in 6th and 7th, with Sean Madison, the number 60 for Alpha Venturi, in P8 there. Caleb Hines, our lone Audi, in Group 1, coming home P9. Dylan Shepard to round out our top 10 of the opening group, with Harrison Mitchell, Teo Sorono, Sam Sproul, and Simon Chadwick, your final cars to take part in the opening group and get underway. As we've been given a green flag call from race control, and apparently there was a bit of a checkup waiting at pit exit. Cody Deeth got to the front of the queue, Aaron, but apparently missed the green flag call, so everyone was waiting on him to make their way out of the pits, and they will now do so and head up towards turn 2 or 3, depending how you call the corners in. Yeah, so the little kink on the way up the hill. Yeah, some track maps call it turn 3. My one on screen calls it turn 2, but I think quite possibly that goes contrary to what iRacing says in some places. Actually, the great hilarious thing is iRacing in-game describes the circuit as having 9 turns, but I'm pretty sure within the UI for that track map it counts it as 10. Just, you know,
it's got to be 10. I mean, when there's a track with not many turns, you need to like take anything. Take that little kink there as a turn, please. Let's make it a 10 turn, and there's another right-hander as well. Oh no, that was a left-hander. Yeah, give it another left-hander, because with 7 right-hand turns, we can throw in a sneaky little left-hander with the other turn as well. That's probably premonition, by the way. Turn 2 is carnage. I know it's a little kink, but I have a sneaky feeling that these guys are going to be playing for keeps when they come down there into turn 3.
Oh, they'll be playing for keeps, that's for sure. The question is whether they can they're willing to play the long game. I guess the big challenge will be, of course, that on that opening sprint, they'll be looking for positions to get themselves in a strong starting spot for the feature. And whether that comes to bite anyone here. As we're going to jump on board with Jesse Butler by the looks of things. So the 349 for HTS Racing, another Porsche, just in case you hadn't seen enough of them here tonight. Going to set off on his first qualifying run here. Determined's going to watch this one here. Looks pretty good, but having to make sure he's mindful of the engine RPMs through the corner, but third gear was the only option there. And then the wind up here towards turn number 3 as we'll go with. So we'll grab 6th for a second in the clean air, will he? Yep, he will just grab it there for about 50 meters and then slamming on the anchors. Going to, abuse the ABS, abuse the uphill braking zone to shorten up the braking zone and then power out of the hairpin in first and run back down the hill towards turn number 4.
This turn 4 as he's coming down into it, it's actually a downhill braking zone. So you've done 2 uphills, and then you come down here to this, and then it's off camber, and it's yucky. The rear wants to twitch around all the time. You come through turns 5 and 6. Is this 5 and 6 or maybe 6 and 7? It's hard. It's
5
hard
and
to tell
6.
with the
no, you're right.
6,
6 and 7, you're right.
Yeah, it is 6 and 7 because they call that little turn 5, which is a nothing, into there. As they come down another little straight from turn 8, which is on now, into turn 9. This is imperative. I love this braking zone. It's sort of unsighted a little bit, but you need to stick it. And if you can't get on that apex, you're going to find yourself out way too wide, and you'll never get turn 10. Turn 10 is very important. You can't let it go too wide either. There's track limits as you go through there, but the track. This is such a quick racetrack, and little moments of cooking your brakes or the ABS kicking in when you don't want it to, or missing the apex or missing your braking marker can throw the lap out by about 3 seconds. So looking forward to seeing these guys. I'm actually surprised that most of these guys are not getting off tracks. I'm looking at our session events here, and not many people are getting off track. So very well behaved session so far. We'll see if they can bring that into the sprint race a bit later.
I mean, one of the things to keep in mind is with a reasonably limited amount of time, I wouldn't be too shocked if the drivers here are just feeling things out. Perhaps we have actually had the track state being adjusted after the practice session to actually reduce the amount of rubber on the circuit. Basically, I guess almost simulating the track being cleaned up after a bit of rain, although it is completely dry here, and unfortunately the forecast, well, I would say unfortunately, I guess, Aaron, we're expecting rain to threaten an appearance at some point in the season. We don't know when, thanks to the new weather system updates on here on iRacing in the past couple of weeks. But yeah, could be in the air at some point. Tonight,
can't predict the weather, mate. You can't predict the weather. It'll come, but we just don't know where.
We've got a forecast, that's about all we can roll with, and hope it sticks. As a couple more drivers to the line, Zach Rattray White going to try and displace one of his teammates in the form of O'Reilly, but lo and behold, your prediction about O'Reilly's time starting to ring out true with Cody Deeth, your round 1 winner, unable to beat it on his first flying lap attempt. Rattray White getting in close behind, but also likewise having to settle for just behind Adam Hughes there. Apparently it was a 29.6 if it had counted. Unfortunately, I don't think it did there for the Crisscross 95. Yep, no number on the shield of that car to confirm his position, so that box that one in as an invalidated time. As you can see here, draft pairs and trios, certainly the order of the day in this opening part of the session now that time is starting to come in. Ryan Houlihan trying to get a lap on the board still, and he's got himself some company in the form of Rattray White there in the number 17.
Yeah, Rattray White's put on an excellent time there. Zachy, he's up into P3. He's not gonna. He might be getting pipped a little bit by some of these guys as they come through, but geez, these are cracking times. That Jacob O'Reilly, I'm just looking at him on track. He's not on track. He's parked it. I don't know if he's going to come out again. He probably thinks that's enough at the moment with track conditions. What about Deethy? Is he out on track at the moment? Yeah, he's out there pushing the limits. He's on for a really good time, but I think that's track limits as he goes through the last turn, turn 10, over the line with a 28.9. Did it count? Yes, it did. I honestly thought that was track limits as he went through there. Cody Deeth brings it up to with the first into the 28s, only by a slither, but that's all it's going to take. So it's going to take a sensational lap. We did see in practice that a 28 28.8 or 28.78 was achievable. Oh, as Jamie Christensen does a 28.9 across the line. So displacing Jacob O'Reilly, his teammate as well.
And the reporting is 1/1000th of a second. Look here, Cody. That is literally, that is flirting with the track limit there. That is right side tyres just on the line that is deemed acceptable by iRacing. There, the F1 stewards would probably be having a heart attack, but good thing they're not in the office tonight, so we don't need to worry about it. And I have to say, I do sort of appreciate that the track limits are a little relaxed there, that you can afford to go just past the one, as long as you've still got tyres touching. See here, Dylan Burke's going to do the same. So that
that is the exception,
Aaron. It's
the only exception on the track is as you come through turn 9 into turn 10, and fair enough too. You need to open that turn up. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to get up the inside there, but people will take advantage of it. No, it will go too far, as we just saw Lotsu go a little bit wide there as well. Oh no, that was the person in front of him. Yeah, Christensen in front of him went a little bit wide, so he should get an off track there.
Watch out for Lotsu here though. He's on the fastest sector 1 of the session. PB in sector 2. If he can keep it together here in underneath Christensen's rear wing, this will probably see the 58 shoot up. That is a lot at the exit curb.
That's going to be a 29,
is that too much?
29-1.
But it's too much. Does not count.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right.
He's just pushed it a little too hard right at the exit, and a bit aggressive there at turn 1 as well, as we jump up to Simon Nicholson on his lonesome in the 08 for Team PGZ Esports. But oh man, yeah, what could have been there for Gianni Lutsu? Unfortunately, yeah, coming undone in the final sector, and also potentially being invalid there, I suspect as well.
He's kept his foot into it. He's following. Well, he's not a teammate, but they do know each other, these two, so they might be helping each other along. The person that's going to get the biggest toe out of this is it looks like Brad Newman in the 22 machine behind those two as well. So he might, because he's right down the back of the pack at the moment. He's in P22, hasn't set a lap yet. When I said the 22, he's actually in 22nd position in the number 2 machine. Oh, and they've absolutely cooked it. So the boys at the front there, you just saw Lotsu, he's gone off track completely. We'll see what Brad Newman can do here, if we can get on board with Brad Newman. And he's had to pull out of it too, so commentator's curse on those three, unfortunately. I apologise, boys, if you rewatch this.
Coming inside towards 7 minutes to go. The Eclipse cars are going again just up the road from Ratro White, but looking at Zach, he's got a PB in sector 1. Sector 2 is backed off big time, though, I'm pretty certain, so this shouldn't be an improvement. In fact, it will probably, I'm expecting to throw up. They won't get completely invalid, so he'll go again now. Simon Cox, meanwhile, third of the Audis in the session tonight, the number 64 machine here, looking to try and improve on P23. Just inside of 8/10 off, and he will find 200ths of a second. Unfortunately, does not improve his position.
I just look at in the chat right now. Jake Edwards has just come up in here and said, up at Hughesy. Hughesy is actually Adam Hughes. He's in P21. And he says in front of the world's safest driver at the moment, which is a bit of a hit out at poor Newman in the background, but I'm sure he's got broad enough shoulders to take that. Keep the chat coming, guys. I'm enjoying it.
Here now for Deeth, currently on another flyer. The setup from these cars here, I have to say, watching them earlier, they were giving absolutely nothing left on the table. These are almost threatening a slowdown penalty for the way they attacked these last 2 corners. You can see here, oh, that might be pushing a bit hard, Cody, as he'll bring it through Lusselton again here. I think that's just going to be pushing it for the sake of pushing it, and he'll reset. Yeah, 129.2 doesn't even improve, even if it counted, and it certainly didn't. Dylan bursts in behind, does finally get a representative time on the board to break up a massive string of Ferraris, second through to, well, what was 7th and now 8th, getting the first Audi into the top 10. It really is, yeah, a Porsche and Ferrari field at this stage. We are a couple of drivers shorter than we would expect tonight, Aaron. There is also the fact that the drivers did have completely free choice of car up until either round 1 last week if they raced, or tonight if they whatever they jumped into tonight if they here for the first time is what they will be required to run for the remainder of the season, barring any abnormal changes to the cars, potentially necessitating perhaps drivers switch to something perhaps that becomes competitive out of the blue. We're obviously hoping that's not the case with a season that runs here for the next couple of months, that performance stays level enough that we don't have drivers concerned about that here, and hopefully a chance to demonstrate that there is good potential here for balance, despite, in saying that, the strong duopoly almost that has been formed amongst the field. Yeah,
well, we did see. Oh, did that Lutzu just get a 129 flat? I think he just did. He's gone up into P4. We sort of missed that lap, but that's another Ferrari up the front end. Going back to your point, yeah, the Lamborghini of Cody Death, I was expecting to have a few more people in that this week, just because it won and people want to have a taste of what it can do. I think Cody Death can actually drive anything, to be honest. So I don't think what he's behind the wheel of really matters. These GT3s, as far as I can see, especially with times represented that I see now, pretty balanced. It's all down to driver, and that's what we want it to be. We want it to be a national championship for the driver. We want to know who the best national GT3 driver is in Australia, for the bragging rights, obviously. I think Cody Death has got that at the moment. He's got his pinky on it at the moment for that trophy, but a lot of people, especially Jamie Christians at the moment, and actually both boys from Vermilion, Zach White as well, and they're trying to put their little stamp on it as well.
Indeed, and sort of, I guess, what you say, finger by finger every week that things go well, perhaps for Death. I mean, obviously, baby steps. We've only had one race of the season, and he's looking to start strong here, as seen there Christensen, I think, back it up into the final turn. Hopefully for Lutzu that didn't completely mess things up, although I'm seeing some fast sectors from Death. Watch out for Cody Death as well here if we can, Aaron. I think he's going to try and move the benchmark further forward here on this one.
He is stuck a little bit behind
Simon Nicholson.
Simon Nicol at the moment. Will that hold him up? I think it has. It's going to be a great time, but it's not going to be a 28. It might be. It's going to be very, very close. And he has. It's a 28.916. So he has, like you said, moved that little benchmark a little bit forward. So it's going to be very hard for Jamie in P2 to catch that at the moment. But Jamie's actually on a lap. As I'm looking here, trying to find out where he is on track.
Up the road into turn 4 is the answer. I'll just also let you know there. Yeah, Cody Death's previous best in the session reported from iRacing, a 128.933. That last lap classified as a 28.932.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking at my time.
He's doubled his lead, folks, from a whole 1/1000th of a second to 2/1000ths of a second. Here in the last 2 minutes of qualifying as well. Don't forget that it is going to be a hard cut on the field here due to the heat system in effect tonight to get both races in the one server. So drivers need to make sure they time their runs and get their final laps started with enough time.
Here comes Jamie as well. Jamie's on for a 128. I'm just watching him go across the line now for a 128.94. Oh, and he's just...
It's invalid.
Just invalid lap, and it wouldn't have mattered anyway. He's about a 100th off where he needed to be. Geez, great qualifying from these guys.
All right, this is it for all these drivers. They won't get time to finish another lap if they come around to start here. And looks like for the case of some drivers like Brad Newman, they're done into the pit lane for them. Nicholson crossed the line. Unfortunately for him, not an improvement on that lap. Dylan Burst ran wide, no time counted. Same for Cody Death on that one. Rattray White, unfortunately, once again, has gone off as well. Matthew Dench hasn't found an improvement to the PGZ 83. He's going to be out of P10 for now. Simon Cox is going to be next across the line. He's been doing a string of valid times, but no, bails into the pit lane for the 64, so he is done. That just leaves us with Gianni Lutzu on circuit.
I think Jesse Butler's out there too. I don't know if Jesse's going to go for a lap here, but he's looking pretty strong. The lap that he's predicted might catapult him up a little bit, but he's in P27. Not where he wants to be at the back of this field. We'll see how he brings up the as he goes through No, he's not going to make the cut line, unfortunately. We've got 17 seconds left, and he needs 25. He needs a miracle. The 27 needs a miracle. Will he find it? I don't think so. Or maybe with 9 seconds left on the clock, can he make it? Oh, he's going to miss out by the smallest of margins.
Starship Mars, it literally on the straight. Call it 10 meters, but for Jesse Butler, that is going to have to do it there in qualifying. And so the field is set for our opening 15-minute sprint here in the second round of the ANZ Series GT3 National Championship. And the confirmation is in with 2 1,000ths of a second separating Cody Deeth from Jamie Christensen here on the front row. So we're curious to see if that converts to race pace here tonight for both cars. In behind them, Zach Rattray-White and Gianni Lutsu will start off the second row. And again, close times for the top three, and Lutsu not too far behind, all things considered, either as well. Just behind him on the timesheets, Jacob O'Reilly's Q1 time, good enough for P5 in the session, sharing the third row with the 0.5, pardon me, of Seth Brown from Altus Australia in the next of our Ferraris there. Danny Davidson making his way to P7, another strong time from Q1 in the opening half of the session, with Dylan Burse alongside him. First of our Audis in 8th place there for the 68. The 994 of Kobe Williams going to start out of P9 and just pipping Matthew Dench there for the last spot, that spot there in the top 10 to round out our first 5 rows. Simon Nicholson will be lining up just in behind his teammate, at least row-wise. Chu Kang directly in behind Matthew Dench to start P12 here tonight. And the final half of our field can be separated here with Marino Morella in 13th, just ahead of Zachary Smith, the number 25 there in 14th place. And I'll hand to you, Aaron, here, the back half of the field, starting with P15.
Yeah, you take a break there, mate. I'll go run through this. Sean Madison brings up into P15. Only half a second separates him from the front of the grid here. Kyle Hayes in the back here in P16. Looking pretty racy as well. Houlihan in P17. Beside him, Dylan Shepherd. That's going to be some spicy stuff in the back of the grid. We got Adam Hughes in 18th and Harrison Mitchell in P20. Rounding up the top 20 there, Simon Cox and Teo Sereno in P21, 22. The times here are so, there's nothing separating, less than a second the whole guys. Samuel Sproul ahead of Brad Newman, the safest car on the grid. Simon Chadwick in P25. P26 is Stuart Ellis. And rounding up our grid is Jesse Butler. Oh, hang on, Jake Maloney. I didn't see him on the, he must have jumped in late. And he's on that livery too, which I absolutely love. Thank you, Jake, for bringing that to us tonight. We're about to get underway. Well, not underway, we're about to be under safety car for the start of this round 2 of the ANZ E-Series National Championship. Brought to you by us here at ANZ. Looking forward to the start of this, Dan. I don't know who's got the inside. We're going to have Cody Deeth on the inside for turn 1.
Race leaders.
Followed through by Zach.
Yeah, sort of run over you there a little bit with that description there, but generally speaking in iRacing, pole sitter will be given the inside line to turn 1. So all of our odd positions on the left-hand side of your screen and all of the even positions on the right-hand side, as we're about halfway around the lap here with the iRacing pace car pulling away now to get this formation lap, abbreviated it may be, underway, so we can get to the race start to kick things off. As you said, 28 cars for this second round of the season. Question will be, will we get away with a clean start? Things were a little chaotic at times at the Nürburgring. The hairpin, that was turn 1 there, as well as the opening arena section, did offer up a bit of spice. And then, as you said, turn 1 could be a bit challenging. It's deceptive, given more so, I guess, the fact that you can be very aggressive into there, and that certainly can be what befalls you here, as Cody Deeth will take control here. Around the last couple of turns we come to get ready for the second round of the ANZ Series GT3 National Championship. The Red Bull Ring sees the green flag for the first time, and it's Deeth away at the front, single file ahead of Christensen. Rattray-White and Lutsu, those side by side as we head up towards turn 1 for the first time.
That's too wide on the outside, not where you want to be as you go through turn 1. They go through there cleanly. And well done to those.
Turn 1.
Yeah, massive trouble down the back of the grid. Trying to work out who that is at the moment.
That's Kobe Williams in the 994 for Eclipse. Danny Davidson
too.
Simon Chadwick further up the road as well, entangled in all of the chaos for 9.5 Sim Sport. So 4 drivers tripped up in trouble on lap 1 at turn 1 as a bad run at the hairpin for Christensen. He's going to be under attack from his teammate Ratro White here at potentially down at turn 4. We'll look for it here now as there's been a lot of shuffling, a lot of squabbling up and down as Ratro White decides to get back in line. This time by at least as the field down into turn number 4 for the first time here. This downhill braking zone, as you called out. Cold tyres here as well. Going to hopefully not trip things up too much as the drivers are pushing already at 100%. Trying to keep the pack together as well. As we see there, Adam Hughes diving into the inside of Simon Cox. Can't make the move stick though at turn 6, yes.
At the front there, you've got Cody Deeth pulling away already. Jamie Christensen, Zach White. They need to just work together here. They're teammates. If they work together, they might be able to catch Cody Deeth and put something on Deetha here, but he seems to be getting away. So probably not a good idea for Zach White to have a lunge on Jamie Christensen there, but they've got to look out for Lutsu behind him.
Yeah, they'll be watching, I'm sure. As you see there, it's our top 9 cars that are still together in the order, as there's someone a bit further down the field, and Shu Kang, unfortunately, the first victim of a slowdown at the final turn, pushing too hard, sees him tumble down into 14th place. That was at least 4 or 5 spots lost, if I'm not mistaken, to start that start the race off there, unfortunately, there for him. But still in the train of sorts as we watch here, cycling up to turn 3 once more here in behind Cody Deeth. 0.3 of a second the gap right at the front of the field, and then another half second or so back. And orderly this time by through the hairpin as we'll go to our first replay thanks to Burling Motor Group. So Williams, Davison, and there's a contact with one of the PGZ cars. Can't tell if that was Nicholson or Dench. And then separate to that, Maloney around in the Mercedes, and he gets Chadwick as he's trying to get that car gathered up there and recovered. So unfortunately for Simon Chadwick, Aaron, that was definitely the most unfortunate of the victims from turn 1.
Yeah, he wasn't expecting the big Mercedes-Benz rear end to be coming out of nowhere there as he went through turn 1. Unfortunate. Oh, who are we on board with at the moment?
This is Chadwick.
This is Chadwick coming through here. We'll keep an eye on him because I'd imagine that we're going to see him not. Oh, and it's all as they all. There's 1, there's 2, and yeah, nowhere to go. Absolutely nowhere to go. He dodged 2. I mean, well done. Just that third one got him.
Yeah, unfortunately, that Merc deciding it wasn't going to stop rolling there, which definitely makes things a whole lot worse when you've got a mobile chicane, as that's going to be pushing the limits, Gianni Lutsu, and that's going to get away without a slowdown. Oh,
who's in the background?
Out around, it's Caleb Hides in the 92, who's come unstuck at turn 1. And that's going to send him way back from P11 that he was at the start-finish line to 26th now, in amongst Williams and Davison after we're trying to recover after lap 1. There's been a call in from Racing Troll about question on slowdowns and how they're being served. Something on the front straight here. I'm going to look to another of our replays from Burling Motor. So Hides gets the slowdown. I saw this flag come up, and he's been hit by Dylan Shepherd. So that's why Shepherd got on the radio about it. So Hyde's slow off the racing line, but then is parked on the apex and unable to clear it in time as back to live pitches will go. We're looking here at Chu Kang, and that's Sean Madison to his inside. Madison surely hoping for a better night out after what was unfortunately
Mitchell
on the receiving end
Mitchell's
of dramas.
off the road.
And indeed, Harrison Mitchell, the 41 Ferrari, well out. That's way out in the sand trap up near the northern cut road. There at turn 5. So that's an unusual spot to go that far out, but we might find out soon enough how that's happened here as the leaders come past the start-finish line once more to start lap 4 in this opening sprint.
He had a little bit of connection issues as I'm watching. Oh no! If we're watching that on a replay, yes, as you can see, exit stage right. Thank you, Harrison Mitchell, and find your way back on the track. That car should be fine to keep going, but he is right at the back of this field and is going to fight really hard in the next couple of minutes to try and work the way back. How much time we got left? 10 minutes left. That 5 minutes went so quick. We've already got 5 laps under our belt.
This lovely static shot of the hairpin. There we go, into the hairpin right now. Is that Stuart? Yeah, it's Stuart Ellis trying to get past Samuel Sprout. 73 on 606. Although it looks like there's going to be no dice with Sprout. Better drive around the outside to start off. Although There's still overlap here in a turn 4, and space given to the apex for Ellis. Who can get the drive off here, though, on corner exit. It's pretty even, Aaron, so another side-by-side run going to continue past 5, up to the double left-handers of 6 and 7, although Sproul opens up the corner entry, and Ellis will concede for now. Looked for the crossover, but Sproul parks it just enough on corner exit before running the racing line to prevent that cut over, that crossback, I should say, to challenge again, although a little squirmy through 7. Not enough of a drive, though, for Ellis through turn 8 to set up just now, unless there's a bit of an ambitious move, but decides he won't do that for now, and will settle in instead. As we've had an update from race control, actually had 2 this race. There was one that actually happened right away on lap 1. Dylan Burst in the 68 Audi has popped a 5-second post-race penalty for an impeding fencing qualifying, I should say, which involved the 999 machine of Ryan Houlihan back then. And we've just had news now. The 83 of Matthew Dench is going to have to serve 10 seconds on the race result charts after making contact with the 999. Once again, therefore, being Ryan Houlihan. So unfortunately, it looks like 999 in the wars a little bit. So that is the answer there. So Dench and Houlihan get together turn 1. That checks up several cars in there involving Kobe Williams, Dane Davidson, and others there from that lap 1 incident. As another one's just come through, as I was about to hand to you, Aaron, a warning for Caleb Hydes after trying to serve a slowdown and unfortunately having an incident there at turn 1 with Dylan Shepherd as a result.
Yeah, well, he tried to serve his slowdown and got served at the same time. So if you're going to serve your slowdown, boys, do it offline. This little battle at the front, Jamie Christensen, that Ferrari has legs. He just caught it down to about 0.2 of a second on that last lap. He is looking really, really pacey. Zach White, his teammate, is not being able to hang on here. This should go down to the wire. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Lamborghini and the Ferrari can do, especially when there's not teammates involved here. This is an actual race, which is going to be great because his teammate's been in a bit of strife. Oh no, Dylan Burst is down in P9, having his own sort of race at the moment for the Eclipse Motorsport team. But yeah, this race at the front, it's only going to take a slowdown or a break. Oh, that is very aggressive from Jamie Christensen over the curb there. A little sausage curve on the right hand side. You want to hit it too many times going through there. I hope you got them on screen every two. Oh, who's that in the background? That is Jacob O'Reilly, was it?
Yeah, unfortunately it is. And contact with the 83 of Matthew Dench, both cars trying to get out of the hairpin in turn 3. Sees the 222 around.
Oh, that
you might want to grab a replay.
Too.
I think that is just O'Reilly getting back into the rhythm. The car looks mostly undamaged, so I think he'll be okay to get going once again. And yeah, we are going to get a replay of this one here.
Oh, as we say that, we'll have to come back because live he has been spun around by Dylan Shepherd as well. So we'll see what happened here. No, this is live. Yeah,
this is the instant here. So
that just happened.
Yeah,
I think.
So unfortunately, yeah.
Yep. That is the replay. I apologise.
Yeah, so on that one there, I have to say, Dench able to hold around the outside a little bit. It looks like, unfortunately, they both went for the same bit of exit space. As we go back to wide pitches here and now, with just under 6 minutes to go, and yeah, some drivers saying the draft not super strong in GT3. Well, at 1/10 of a second and change across the line, thereabouts, it's definitely doing something for the guys here. As Deeth there, I think, happily burning an off track to escape the clutches of Christensen up towards turn 3, although yeah, that Ferrari is gathering that back up as they get towards the straight. And yeah, looking more comfortable with getting a bit more aggressive over that apex curb, which is not something I'd usually say you want to do. Because if you do that in a car like this, you'll spool up the inside rear tyre. And while yes, there's a limited slip diff on these things, it's still enough to invoke a bit of a wheel spin. Then your traction control kicks in and you bog the engine down as the TC limits your your power output and your torque output. But it's working for the time being, at least. Hopefully, still getting good drive off of turn 3. Oh, that's a little bit of a scrub there. That front end did not want to respond in the mid-speed of turn 6 on that particular occasion. So I think Deeth safe here. Aaron for another couple of corners, if not,
I think so.
Perhaps a whole lap. Pat Rattray White coming on the move now. Teammates maybe going at it, unless they're going to stick nose to tail and work back up to the leader.
Yeah, they're working together. They're here for the points, I'm sure of it. I don't think Whitey's going to put any moves on Jamie Christensen. Hey, speaking of Whitey's Pies, I think Curtis Bird is not in our race control tonight because he's at a party, but I think we're on the big screen, so shout out to anyone watching there, by the way. And shout out to the Whitey's Pies boys as well.
Yeah, good to hear. We've got a bit of representation out in the mountain around the place. Let's walk a little bit further on down the field. Just outside the top 10, it's Dylan Shepherd still leading this train. But yeah, Ryan Houlihan looking for a bit of redemption here at some point, trying to find a way past the 43. Marina Morella right in behind as well. There's a bit of breathing room between 999 and 7. And Chu Kang just off the back of this group to make it technically 4. Well, I'd say it's more like 2 plus 1 and another as Houlihan. That's a bomb and a half, and that's not worked for the Alpha Venturi machine. Completely loses all momentum through the hairpin at turn 3, and Marino Morella says, I don't need much more of an invitation to take a spot, thank you very much. Although that kind of a move from Houlihan. Yep, here comes the counter move straight back for that spot in P12, but Houlihan can't get the drive off initially. I think he's still there just at the right rear corner. No, Morella gets that position, holds onto it now, and is able to start trying to work on chasing down Dylan Shepherd to close up the back, not close up once again, because Chu Kang now on the gearbox of Houlihan as these 3 for 12th on back now stare at Dylan Shepherd. Don't let him get away in 11th.
I'm looking down further in the field here. The battle for P21 is actually heating up. We've got Caleb Hydes, Kobe Williams, Denny Davison and Butler locking into, and that is Denny. Oh, that's Davison on the inside, pushing Butler wide, and he gets the move done. Well done on that's the position for 21. As they come through the line, we'll probably get 2 more laps, maybe 3 more laps as we go through this little field here. Kobe Williams is looking really racy at the back here too. So even at the back of the field, they're still racing for position. Every point matters in a 9-race championship. Going through the field, I hope you got that. I hope you got that overtake there, Jay, because that was pretty cool.
So we'll quickly jump to another one of our Burling Motor Group replays, and here we go. Christensen actually running a defensive line down the middle as Rattray White looks to go around the outside, but try and square off the corner, and no dice. He was on the headlights, maybe hoping for a bit of a switch around, maybe see if I could try something different. But no dice as Kobe Williams will now look to get around the outside of Jesse Butler here, back on the live feed.
Awesome.
Yeah, that 21st fight is not done, and now here comes Hydes. Bit of hip and shoulder as the 92 leans on the 349, and straight back to the inside is Butler.
Oh, and he's lost it. He's lost the rears. Caleb Hydes around in the middle of the track. Oh, he's lucky it's the back of the field there. Oh, and he's found the wall too. He's disappointed with himself.
I do believe we're going to go another lap here. Yep, leaders got across the line before Barney could wave the flag. So it is going to be an 11-lap opening sprint here at the Red Bull Ring, as we'll check back in with a battle further up the road. So we've got Matthew Dench. Well, don't forget he has 10 seconds that will be added to his race time ahead of Simon Dickinson. And then Dylan Bursu also has 5 seconds that will be added to his time here. So this will mix things up, that's for sure, at the end of the race and on the sheets. It won't change things for the grid as Houlihan again.
Houlihan.
This time trying to get back up the inside of Morella for 12th. Can't get it done though, trying aggressively for the inside. Aaron at turn 3. And that's one of the things here at the Red Bull Ring. Yes, the inside is pretty handy, but you can easily defend a spot by driving it around the outside with a nicer, more gentle run through the corner and a straighter, earlier power down for corner exit.
There's nothing gentle about what these guys are doing out there. This little battle, we're in this battle here for P12, and it's absolutely, I should say P11. We got one more lap after this to go, and you go back down the field, and you got Stuart Ellis, Denny Davison, and Kobe Williams still fighting for that P20 position. That's going to come down to the wire. I have no idea who's going to win that little battle. It looks like Cody Deeth at the front has checked out. Jamie Christensen and his teammate Zach White look comfortable in their positions. Letsu is going to bring up that P4. He's in a comfortable position. Oh, what has happened down there?
That was Zach Ratchway White trying to use all of the track and then some, to the point though of a slowdown penalty. So that will sign, seal and deliver his position. And in fact, if he can't get this cleared in time, he gets it done just now, well, Gianni Lutsu's got a full head of steam and dragging Seth Brown with him here. So this has now become a potential fight for the final step on the podium here if Rattray White makes any more mistakes. He does have enough of a margin. I think he's safe for now, as this time into turn 3, no attack from Houlihan. Half a thought there from Stuart Ellis on Sam Sproul, but nothing happening this time by, for the moment, in for 19th. Train goes back to 23rd there, as at the front of the field it is now 2 cars left to decide who wins this opening sprint. Cody Death bringing now with just under half a lap to go, looking in control once again for the Eclipse Sim Sports number 3 machine, although he has been shadowed a lot more closely in this one tonight. And yes, it's a draft track, but certainly you've got to be able to hang on to it and handle being in a bit of dirty air as well. So it's certainly not as easy as you might think it. With 1 turn left to go, looks like he's keeping all his cards on the table and everything done right. And he'll get through the final corner, and that's going to be chicken flag number 3 of the season for Cody Death to keep the streak going. Christensen to be commended there for the P2 finish, and Zach Rattray White will hang on for P3 as we just look through the rest of the field here to watch as they come across the line. And top 10 rounded out by Jacob Riley.
Where's Ellis? He's been taken out in the background there. He was fighting for P20.
No. And actually, stand by on that one here. I'm seeing, unfortunately, a solo spin for the 73 of Stuart Ellis. He's completely lost it all by himself. And it will unfortunately see him, down to 25th across the line. And an iRacing black flag for Caleb Hydes.
Trying to work out why he
beat
got
up.
that.
Now, I'm going to suggest incident limit here, Aaron, for the 92, because with the way these drivers are pushing, I wouldn't be too shocked if some of them were burning off tracks and hoping they'd be able to get away with it there, and it's not gone his way as a result due to contacts and other issues across the course of the race. So here's how the top 10 finish across the line there in race number 1 of 2 tonight. Don't forget, time penalties will mix this order up, that's for sure. But at the line, it's Death from Jamie Christensen from Rattray White, as they were all race long in the end. Gianni Lutsu close, but no cigar for the podium. We'll have to settle for P4 here in race 1 tonight, with Seth Brown just behind in P5. Simon Nicholson, promote him in your heads to P6 after time penalties. And then same for Zachary Smith. He'll actually jump 2 spots to P7. O'Reilly will hop 2 spots to 8th. And then I can actually go over the page and confirm the gap is big enough behind for Dylan Burrs to slot into P9. And then it will be Dylan Shepherd who will be considered P10 on outright. As we'll leave the results up here on screen for a second, Aaron, and bring Cody Death, our race 1 winner, into the comms box. And a quick chat with you here after his win to kick things off tonight.
Cody, is that you just walking in here? It is. I'm surprised how quick you can get out of that car and up here into the comms box, but that's as fast as you were racing. Congratulations on the on that round win. Another one under the belt. Thank you very much. Plus the qualifying win. I should point out. Easy out there, hard out there. How's the track conditions?
It's a bit slipperier than I thought it would be, especially with the Lambo. The Ferraris look quite quick.
Yeah, you're right. Those Ferraris behind you were pushing you. They had a bit of a fight behind you, which is lucky for you. But yes, very quick. Especially on that last little bit of the track, but no, you held out, mate, and you held out pretty well too. You didn't have any. Did you have any off tracks in that whole stint?
Oh, I'd rather not talk about the off track
So.
situation. Yeah, I was pushing. That's for sure.
Your teammate who is there behind you last race. I'll be brief. He's got a broken collarbone. Is that correct?
Sure does, mate.
Sure does. He's doing well. And I think he's in P8, I think, for after that one. So congratulations to him. Get back out there. Race is about to start. Hopefully we talk to you in the feature. Good luck.
Hope so too. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Cody Death is going to run back down to his car as quick as he can to get onto the grid. It's such a short little change between... Yeah, there he is. He's getting onto the grid now. I'll let you take over.
Yeah, indeed. So your race 1 results as they cross the line, despite what I was mentioning there about post-race time penalties affecting the official classification of race 1, that won't affect the grid here for race 2. So keep them in mind here as we cycle through at least the front of the field pretty quickly here. Yeah, Death from Christensen on the front row. Rattray White and Lutsu will share the second row to kick off this 45-minute feature tonight, with Seth Brown and Matthew Dench 5th and 6th. Row 4 going to be in the hands of Simon Nicholson and Dylan Burse, with Zach Smith and Jacob O'Reilly to round out your top 10, and so on and so forth. Shepherd and Morella out of row 6. It's going to be Ryan Hallhan, Chewy Kang on the 7th row here tonight. 15th for Brad Newman across the line in race 1. We'll see him line up alongside Adam Hughes in 16th. Teo Sorono, Simon Cox going to share row 9 with your top 20, rounded out by Sam Sprout and Danny Davidson there, with your final couple of cars being Kobe Williams and Jesse Butler, 21st, 22nd. Row 12 in the hands of Sean Madison and Jake Maloney to kick things off for the feature. Stuart Ellis, Simon Shabak out of the 13th row, and the final row being Harrison Mitchell and Caleb Hides. It's been a bit of a drama getting away halfway down the order in one of the rows. So driver's going to have to skedaddle there to catch back up and get in position before we go green, because you can see here, Aaron, Cody Deeth bringing the field down towards the penultimate turn already, and then once that pace car pulls into the pits, as per the races so far this season, he'll be in control of the race start once more. He got the jump on Christensen when they were lined up like this for the opening race. He went a little early. I think he's holding a bit longer here for the start of the feature, but he'll put the hammer down, race control, give the green, and he's clear once again as the race heads up towards turn 1. Ratro White, Lutsu, and somebody else challenging for P2 this time by, and it will be side by side for third though as Christensen hangs on. We watch for the field to get through turn 1. Can they do it this time as cars mounting the apex curve, Aaron? But we get through everyone on the way out to turn 3.
Very cleanly. There wasn't any touches there as they went through. A lot better than our first sprint race. These guys will be hoping that this race goes green now, especially at the back of the pack here, because we've got some big names at the back there with a lot of pace that they're going to move their way through. As we see a little bit of contact right down the back with Caleb Highs and Harrison Mitchell. But up the front, as we've seen in the last 3 races, Cody Deeth has taken it and he's going to try and run with it as long as he can. But Gianna Lutsu, did he get into P3?
Oh, trouble.
He did.
Further back.
Oh, who is it?
Dylan Shepherd's the first
Dylan
one around
Shepherd
there.
and one of the Vermilion cars as well, the 37.
Chu Kang. I'm going to quickly rewind. We'll confirm who's gotten entangled in all of that one, but it starts. Yeah, it started with Adam Hughes, Brad Newman, Chu Kang, and Dylan Shepherd. Holy dive bombs and a half. We might need to pick this one up. Oh, Sean Madison, not again.
Sean Madison off the track. Oh, and there goes the 37 Vermilion car again off the track. So
Chu Kang
not
damaged.
great for Chu.
Yeah, he's a bit,
must be damaged. Yeah,
he is damaged, and confirming. Yeah, mechanical black flag. So full limp home mode. Sprouse around in the penultimate turn. The 606 is way out in the weeds. So Blackout OPR have been absolutely hammer punched here between the two of their cars. And now the question remains.
Chewy Kang will not get home. He keeps on spinning around and around and around. That rear is absolutely gone. We might see a safety car.
No, he's committing. I think he will make it back. It's just going to have to be a matter of will he spin again on the way to the pit entry here. And it's going to be a game of, you just need to slow down, stay away from the curbs. They might not help us. This is what happened here. Watch out for Brad Newman on the inside.
Newman.
You have to say almost Chu Kang and Dylan Shepherd having their own incident there, but Newman and Adam Hughes both going for a gap that was going to close on them into turn 4. And I have to say that's probably not helped the situation. One of the Alpha Venturi Porsches getting absolutely having a car suddenly across their nose broadside there, causing dramas. Further back in the field, and I believe this is still on lap 1. I hope this might be on. This has just happened. As Sorono bails off to the side of the road and
out
he might be in a bit of trouble for completely. He's just
gone. Be in a little bit
of
trouble for what happened there, unless he has a technical fault or something like that. But didn't look like he was a happy sailor after being taken to the back of the field there. But Sorono, I'll have to check on his well-being a little bit later to see how he's gone, because he has absolutely exited not only the race but the server, and hopefully we get to chat with him a little bit later.
All right, back to live pictures we've come. Dylan Burse is now currently apparently running the train here, 5th on back as he tries to lead them through to turn 1. Seth Brown's now got the PGZ duo of Nicholson and Dench going out as Dench has flown around the outside to try and get past his teammate, and looks like he's got the job done. Brown, though, once again, you said the Ferraris are strong here in a straight line. That looks to be the case. Up underneath the gearbox of Dylan Burse means he's through on the inside at turn 3, although little wiggle,
the
but
outside.
Burse up on the sausage curb. I think it's just hurt his chance of getting back on exit, and even in the clean air, looks like Seth Brown, the Ferrari, is the strongest. Oh, Caleb Hydes, not again. The 92 is having an absolute nightmare, it seems, tonight at the Red Bull Ring. Now back down to 24th. And only 3 cars behind him still running in this race.
He's got some damage too in that right rear, so we'll have to come back and see what
First back
actually
ahead of
happened there.
Seth Brown, but only for a moment.
Oh, this... You just got to remember, ladies and gentlemen at home, Dylan Burst here. Oh, as they get a bit of contact. Is he going to get... Oh, no! There's 5! Who was that? That's Seth Brown.
Oh, Jacob O'Reilly's the one in the gravel, trying to recover the triple two.
How did Jacob O'Reilly end up out there when it was the other car being hit? Dylan... who was it? Was it Seth Brown? Seth Brown should not be on the track right now. That car was completely sideways. He got punted around a little bit. Smith put him straight, and he's back out there fighting in P10.
So go another one of our Burley Muguruza. Oh, Caleb Hyde's solo spin. Although, Director Jay Kennedy wondering if maybe there was contact there at turn 3 at the hairpin. For a second there, I could have sworn that was nothing. And this is the top-down shot of, Seth Brown, Dylan Burst, halfway around the lap. And just a bit of a tag from the PGZ car, which I think would be Dench in that situation. Unfortunately, that's spinning the Altus 05 sideways across the track, as you called. He's on board with Caleb Hydes once again, and oh, never mind. Yeah, that's a serious whack.
That is a whack.
And as has been called in my ear, teammates at Eclipse, absolutely having an absolute whale of a time tonight. It seems either up the front, it's great. Down the back, it's an absolute nightmare. As Racing 12 issued a 10-second penalty to Chu Kang for incident on lap 1. You see him 10 seconds added to his race time. And we've also now lost Sean Madison, the number 60 from AVR, although that looks to have been a dropout of some kind, rather than with Sorono's apparent manually or complete voluntary disconnection there. Yeah,
I don't think there was a disconnection from Teo there, but anyway, we'll go. Unfortunately, he's probably
voluntary retirement.
Maybe a cup of tea and maybe a biscuit, just to calm down a little bit before he comes back into the chat. On comms, I do not want to be in the Eclipse team meeting after this. I would like to be a fly on the wall though, but I don't want to be involved in that. Jacob O'Reilly is having an absolute shocker. He qualified in 5th in the first race, and then from there has just been punted, hit. He's been driven around the outside of. He's having moments with everyone. Hopefully he can work his way up. We still got. What have we got? We've still got 38 minutes left in this race, so people are playing so hard when there's a pit stop involved to come, and you've got to look after tyre just a little bit to get to the end.
Lo and behold, the Red Bull Ring failing to, not failing to live up to the fact that it produces quite intense racing, which either means big packs and big drama. Yeah, in the case it is very much the case of, big packs, big drama to a T. So the top 4 have broken away in all the chaos. Deeth, Christensen, Gianni Lutsu in with Zach Rattray White. So your 3 Musketeers and +1, as it were, from race 1 earlier on. You've then got, Burst and Nicholson slightly clear of Morello through to Seth Brown. You've got Brad Newman through to Jesse Butler, apparently grouping up as a team of 4. And I can see that on my timing. Then got Ryan Houlihan, who's in this group here with Hughes, O'Reilly. Let's go back to Danny Davidson. Apparently not. No, bit of a fracturing of this group further on back. Cody Williams now tucked in behind the 755. As on board with Seth Brown will go here. So trying to look at the back of Zach Smith's AVR number 25 here as they come through turn 1. We'll watch here to see how much drive this Ferrari's got, because they do look strong, especially when underneath the rear wing of another car here tonight at Red Bull. They're definitely enjoying draft and top-end conditions here. That's for sure. We spotted that a little earlier as well. Brad Newman's down the order. Holy, 3 wide. And Simon Cox involved in the sandwich. Gets run off the road a tiny bit as the cars drag on each other. Jesse Butler now looking for a piece of the pie as well.
I hope you get that on replay. That was 3 wide. Have we got the replay coming up shortly? That was a 3 wide battle for turn 3. And they're still battling as we're talking about it now, but someone's going to come off second best, and Brad Newman was the one.
Third best in this case.
Yeah, third best. Yeah, you're correct.
Jesse Butler wanted to make it 4th best for Newman if you extend it out to the course of a lap. Fortunately, he's not been able to get the spot there. So we'll go to the replay. So look at this here. The Mercedes of Maloney pulling on Simon Cox, who's also getting the toe off of Newman. So they go up to the turn and then, they all try and get through the corner. And all of them want the exit line where they can open up the corner. As Newman dives into the pits right on the nose of Butler. He's very lucky to have not been tagged as we head back to live pictures. So that's the first driver to go for a pit stop. That might just work, but it's a little early.
That's early.
Yep.
That's very
and
early.
Again,
that's 5 minutes early, if you ask me.
Pack racing, fuel saving, chance of a safety car, possible. In saying that, we got through the opening 15 minutes without needing one, and no one's towed yet here in race 2. At least not towed due to damage, I guess. Can't make the blanket statement as I would like, due to what has happened already so far. As I'll just see further back, Ryan Houlihan's under pressure from Adam Hughes for 14th place, and 999 has held on this time. Once again, the outside line at the hairpin is working for drivers in terms of getting better traction and better acceleration. Because one of the fun things here at the Red Bull is you can go too tight at the hairpin turn 3, and you actually cause the inside, your right rear tyre, to basically light up with so much. Well, basically, I think it comes off the ground to the point.
It's off the ground, yeah.
Where even a limited slip diff can't help you, Aaron. Sorry.
Oh, no, call me whatever you want.
I probably shouldn't.
Just don't call me late for dinner. Hey, speaking of what's going on here, I'm just Jake Maloney. He has had 3 races so far that he'd like to forget. He's in my favourite livery out there in the number 29 machine. He's found himself a little bit of space. He's 3 seconds off the pace of P10, but he's also got a nice little cushion as well. So his race can just come to him bit by bit. He's got no pressure on him. I'm hoping that he can push his way up through the field, maybe after the pit stops. But as we go down the field, if you can get onto Adam Hughes right now, and as they go into turn 1, Adam Hughes on Houlihan. He's got it done, but they've still this big drag race to go. Houlihan's just, he might have a bit of a slowdown. Is that what's happened?
It's not a slowdown. I think he's voluntarily given that up, although he's lifted out something fierce to the point that, not only is O'Reilly going to now challenge around the outside of Hughes, Danny Davison to his inside almost gets into his door. If he did, thankfully, didn't cause any trouble there. As side by side ahead, I think is where we might want to focus on, because O'Reilly didn't quite get the job done at turn 3, although Hughes will roll out. So there's a lift and a yield to jump in line. So 222 picks up a spot, or actually makes it 2 spots, I should say, in this lap. Is then just in behind, that's Caleb Hyde, Stuart Ellis, and Dylan Shepherd fighting now over 19th place. As Shepherd to the inside of Ellis will bomb it in there at turn 6, but gets it pulled up nicely through the corner, and that will be a spot secured for the 43.
That Audi out front there, Caleb Hydes. He had a shocker in the last race, but he's got himself up into P19 now. We'll see what he can do with that. Now he's got a bit of a gap to the next car in front of him. He'll have to just put his head down and keep going. As we go up a little bit further than that, I think Denny Davison's going to have a lunge on Houlihan. No, he's thought better of it as they come down the main straight up into, I think it's Nicky Lauda corner, if you correct me if I'm wrong, into turn 1, uphill. See where he brakes. He's brake late in these cars.
As you said, uphill braking zones plus ABS plus big tyres and a decent chunk of aero means that, it really is a game of getting all over the car there and making the most of what you got. As Davidson's looking, Houlihan doesn't have the straight line, it seems, in comparison. Leaves the door open on the inside, and outside gets the better drive once more. Looks like Houlihan will be safe from a challenger. He does have that front end damage, and I'm going to have to be asking. The Ferrari looks good in the straight line, but I get the feeling it's also a bit of an advantage for no damage, visibly at least, on the 755 of Davidson's car. That's going to be making some of the difference there when it comes to top end.
I'm just looking at the chat. I've seen Min's Admin's jumped in here. She said she's late to watching us because the cycling was on SBS. Come on, Mins. You should be on here straight away. You just record the cycling and watch it again later. You need to watch this sort of stuff live. This is where you want to be. I think cycling is just as exciting as football, to be honest. Who else is going to the Melbourne Grand Prix? I wish I could go there, but I won't be.
Rubbing this time.
Oh, here we go. You said there's some front end damage, but it didn't matter. Davis has got the job done on the inside of turn 10.
Yeah, he powered out of turn 7 and 8 and just absolutely run up the inside of 999 and Ryan Houlihan. Now it's Kobe Williams' turn to try and eye off a spot here in the next of the Porsches in this fielding. See here, Houlihan, he is pushing hard, trying to get every last scrap that he can to stay in position. And even then, it looks like the Ferrari's got just a little bit of an edge in a straight line in the current condition to make sure he holds on to that spot for now. Williams too far back to make a move of it at this stage. As we're coming up to 30 minutes to go and we start asking the question, we're probably in the window to make your pit stop work. When are you going to do it? As it looks like Zach Smith,
Smith or Brown.
Paint. They were in this position that they are right this second at the line apparently. So there's been a switch somewhere in lap of Smith. Can't hang it around the outside of turn 6. Although Brown then wobbles wide.
He loses the rears. He's lost it completely.
I think. Was that contact? I think it might have been.
Yeah, Zachy Smith's going to be in a little bit of trouble there, if you ask me. Getting a little bit onto the rear bumper of that, and who was that, Seth Brown? You can't park out there, mate. You'll have to get that car running and going again.
Oh,
actually,
my goodness.
why? Yeah, we'll have to go back to that. Hopefully, go to a replay of what happened there. Just on Min's admin just asked, did I miss rain? No, you haven't. It's looking clear and wonderful out there for tonight's racing. And hopefully, we get rain later in the season. Oh, here's this replay that we're talking about.
So yeah, we're going to rewind it a bit, Aaron, to start with why they were around the other way from what the number boards on their cars indicated. So challenge from Seth Brown starting at turn 3, and he had the outsides. He's actually pincing Zach Smith down right to the white line there. As we'll go to a full screen copy of the replay here, which is probably going to be needed to really pick this one apart. Smith inside for turn 4 is then going to be able to get back a nose ahead through this little sweeping corner that, yes, we are going to call turn 5. And then, yeah, here, both of them go in hot. Smith too wide on entry. Brown too hot, covers him off. And then it's the tiniest of touches. Brown was getting a little bit of wiggle on by himself, unfortunately, Aaron. But, yeah, a very slight touch. And that does the job. As we go on board with Zach Smith to see just how little of a touch I'm talking about here. As we might go back forwards if we can, Mr. Director J, and look at Seth Brown when he shows up right about here. Wiggle, slip, slide. It's literally touching the diffuser, nothing else.
Yeah, there's nothing much in it, but there is contact. So we'll see what the race officials say about that. But yeah, upon review, maybe racing incident, but it did look worse than that live.
And yeah, the onboard does sort of give a bit more of a clue as our first taker for what might be more in line with a scheduled stop. Well, actually, I say that Ryan Houlihan dived into the pit lane on the last lap, and I think that's right about as early as you'd want to take it. Seth Brown and Kobe Williams coming in from further back in the pack as one final look on the Burling Motor Group replay of that incident here, Aaron. And what you see, tiny wiggle starts now for Seth Brown as Smith gets the power down, and it's literally splitted to the diffuser, I think. And it's like it just gets underneath the bottom of Seth Brown's diffuser strokes there and picks up the 05 and around it goes.
He's lucky not to make contact with the wall out there, so that car will live to fight another day. He'll need a safety car to get back up to there because I think there might be a little bit of retribution coming the other way next time. But the car looks good. I'm looking at it on screen now. It looks very tidy, so no damage. He's got, I don't know if he put new tyres on, but I don't think he would have. So they'll have a little bit of a mark on him. But yeah, racing incident, unfortunately.
Not in the eyes of
race
control.
Not in the eyes of race control. Nope.
No. Just as you've wrapped up that discussion there, Zach Smith
is going to cop. That's why we're not in there, mate.
He's going to cop 10 seconds to his official race time for that contact there. That's all been happening. Well, yeah, the only other one
that's why I'm not in race control, because I would have given that a racing incident, but that's why I'm not there, and that's why we're on the just chatting in here on the big stick.
I mean, yeah, it's a game of millimeters and milliseconds, and in that case, in the way of Zach Smith at fault for that one at least. So, I'll update drivers on how things are going with pit stops. Now, we have 3 takers to the lane in the hands. Seth Brown, Kobe Williams, Ryan Houlihan, who I think are in at a safe enough margin. I'll be joined this time by Dylan Shepherd at the end of lap 12 for him. Leaders are now on lap 13, including here, the Ferrari of Zach Rattray White looking at the back of Gianni Lutsu in this continued fight for the top 4, although they have stretched out, unlike what we saw in the opening sprint, at least a bit more than what we saw anyway. So,
oh, there might be a move here for P17. Oh, he's thought better of it. Stuart Ellis on Harrison Mitchell into turn 3. Stuart Ellis is looking very racy down here and putting the Bunsen burners on Mitchell at the moment.
Keep an eye on it then for a little bit more and see if we get anything else to develop here. Once again, though, Ferrari's looking good in a straight line. Doesn't look like he's under much pressure at the start of the braking zone, at least. Although closing up nicely is the 73 to get a good run off of turn 4. Too far back to make something work through the.
He's going to have to set him up for turn 9. That's what he's going to have to do.
Yeah, something like that.
Here.
I'll have to see what happens. Mitchell, that's in a little hot. Yeah, just going to make that work though. Actually, Stuart Ellis even a little too conservative, if you might say, in my books.
Definitely.
They're trying to get that cross. They get cross underneath there and get a straighter exit. And then he doesn't get the curb right. He will dive though to the pit lane. So maybe go for the undercut here on some pit strategy and see if some clean air works for him. He's following in Caleb Hydes.
He just got it stopped.
Yeah, worked out all right for him there in the end. So drivers coming in 1 and 2 at a time for now for these stops that we're expecting to make. I should say and clarify, it's not compulsory by any means. If we had enough safety cars, you could save the fuel required. You would be all good to go and do that. Although I would definitely say that the odds of that being a likely successful strategy seem relatively low, given the pace and the amount of fuel required anyways to do. It makes the strategy work. So for now...
I'm just looking up the front here. Cody Deeth has got himself a 1.3 second gap. He's driving the absolute wheels of his Lamborghini. Any chance we can jump on board with him, Dan, for a lap as he comes through? He's coming through turn 9 and 10 now. Just see if he ducks into the pits, which he doesn't.
No sign there.
Jump on board. Show everyone at home what it's like to take these GT3s around this track. Turn it up, please, and listen to this. He's going to be on the markers the whole way around.
That there was a very nice and clean lap of the Red Bull rank, 29.223. Not quite the fastest we've seen in race trim. But for those of you watching along behind, you might have noticed a little bit of lifting and coasting from our race leader. Not much, Aaron, but just little strategic lifts to maybe save 10 mils at a time in a couple of spots. Critically, though, you can see when comparing the last 3 laps to Christensen behind, actually on that last lap, Deeth's pace rock solid, 29.27, 29.27 again, and 29.22. Christensen did lose some time on 13 and 14, now starting to come back the other way here on 15, yeah.
Yeah, I was just watching those laps. That's why I wanted to jump on board with him there, because I was just watching the consistent laps. You'll probably find he does another 29.2 here as well. Jamie Christensen needs to burn the tyres, burn the fuel to even get close to him here, to even get under that rear wing and have a shot of it. And if he is saving, which I could see a little bit of saving there, he's going to be right for the pit stops and probably come out ahead by over a second margin.
The thing is, yeah, it's not much Now looking at this lap that's currently up, in fact, even if you get current sectors up real quick before the lap ends, perhaps, that'd be really handy, because I can tell you that Christensen apparently has set the fastest sector of anyone in the race here in sector 1 versus Cody Deeth, although he's lost most of that advantage in sector 2. There we go. In fact, look at that there. Quite literally gains a 10th in sector 1, loses it in sector 2, and then basically a dead heat with a tiny slither of advantage, Deeth, there for him. As Matthew Dench, first of our cars from towards the front, going to peel to the pit lane at the end of lap 16. So looking for the 83 to try and pop out somewhere in clear air. As we bring up on screen Brad Newman. Do note here, he is the leader of cars who have pitted in this race, but he pitted about 5 minutes earlier, as you called out, Aaron, earlier than anyone else. Therefore, he's had to take on less fuel, because there's less fuel tank space available for him to put in, and still probably relying on a safety car to make this strategy work.
He needs a lengthy safety car. He needs a safety car to go around for at least a lap and a half, 2 laps to, on my calculations, to make it. But hey, they do call him the generational talent. There's a lot of people in the chat here that like watching him and call out him all the time. If he runs out of fuel, I don't think he'll ever live this down. Very aggressive on the pit strategy, but if anyone can do it, maybe he can. And geez, he'd come out of nowhere if that's the case.
I mean, yeah, it's the roll of the dice, and we'll wait to see if it pays off as we're ticking down the laps towards these cars probably running out of fuel in the grand scheme of things. Maybe another 3 to 4 laps, I'd suggest, perhaps, depending on exactly how much they've got in it. As Deeth has just gone to a 29.1 personal best of the race, and pulls 2/10 on Christensen, as Zach Smith will head for the pit lanes. That's the next of our cars towards the front of the field, diving in here. We'll see where he comes out relative to Matthew Dench once the stop is complete. Who has come out still ahead of Brad Newman, so that's critical there. The leader of those who have pitted is now clearly Matthew Dench, and he is definitely going to be good on fuel to the end of this race.
Yeah, so Dench has actually come out ahead of Brad Newman there that we were just talking about by a massive margin too. So Newman is saving. Just looking at his lap times, he's doing 30s thereabouts. So yeah, he's definitely trying to save there. It's not going to be, if it goes green, he's going to have to come back for a splash. Dench has actually got ahead of Zach Smith there as well. So yes, the leader that is pitted is Matthew Dench. Keep an eye on him at the back of the grid, as everyone on the track has seemed to space themselves out a lot. The only battle at the moment is for P3 between Zachary White and Gianni Lutsu. I guess you could throw Jamie Christensen into that as well, but I'd imagine just waiting to see what Deeth does. If Deeth goes into the pits, I reckon they follow. I don't think there's going to be an undercut. They're going to prove me wrong, which they didn't, which is great. But I think they'll just do what the leader does here and hope for a safety car, I think, to get up back underneath him.
And there's the whole thing of the problem there for these guys here at the front of the field. The fact of the matter is that we do have these small packs up. So once you get past the top 5 or 6 in this case, Marino Morella's going to dive into the pit lane. So this will be important to sort of show where does he shake out in the grand scheme of things compared to Matthew Dench and Zach Smith, for example. But also critically, that's another car it's removed out of the train that potentially would have been an obstacle for the leaders that may have come into it. So not so much perhaps Marino, because he would have been a fairly bit close. But critically here, this comparison on screen now. The number 7 in the pit lane, finishing up his refuel, as Dench coming across the start-finish line. This might be close on turn 1 exit, though. No, Dench going past now. He is going to well clear the number 7, especially with a tighter pit exit on the inside of the corner, of course. So there you go. Dench still holds the effective lead of those who have pitted in this race.
Yeah, Dench has done a really good job. I remember him last week. He was the only person to put pressure on the Eclipse team last week. Speaking of the Eclipse team, the man with the broken collarbone, Dylan Burst, up into P5. He's about 5 seconds off the lead of the race here. He's in pretty good stead here to get a pretty good result around the 7 or 8, maybe P9 as they shake out.
Oh, hang on. By the way.
Yes, I think who's that just come in? Is that Lutsu?
It's Gianni Lutsu. Dylan Burst going to follow him in as well. So 2 of our drivers from the top 6 peeling into the pits now. This is also going to be critical here for Lutzu. So where does he cycle out? Not so much with regards to Matthew Dench per se, because he should be clear by a couple of seconds. But whether he falls into the nice big gap that sits ahead of Matthew Dench. The car in front is Sam Sproul in the 606, and he's going, yep, he's going to get clean air because the cars in that pack, they're all filing in the lane. This is perfect for Gianni Lutzu. Massive sway at the entire front straight of clean air behind, and a good 5 or 6 seconds up the road to the next car in front. Can he get an undercut on the number 17 of Zach? Oh, sorry, it would be Christensen. He's ahead of Rattray White. Can he make an undercut work here? Problem is that they're all in cleanish air. So it's really going to come down to perfection on this lap, Aaron. And, of course, there's also the fact that he's got more fuel on board. And that's going to be a little bit more weight that might be slightly detrimental. As being told, long stop for Burse. And there's no black flag next to his name at the moment.
What's going on with Dylan Burse?
He might have blown the pit entry here. I'm going to go double check for you, folks.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm just trying to look at what could have happened there. It could have been speeding on pit lane, possibly.
I've got your answer for you. And if you might want to queue up a replay, Jay, of the pit entry and the way he committed to the entry, not the cones, but the entry off of the penultimate corner. And I'll point it out. Unfortunately for Burse, he got that horribly wrong as Kang Chadwick fighting over 23rd place here with Dylan Burse now in behind, racing them for position. And it looks like Chu Kang will make the inside work in a rare moment as our race leaders are in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 peel off, and that means the field is almost cleansed for... Oh, tow request from Danny Davidson way up in the weeds at turn 2.
He's off. He can't park there, mate.
But he will be cleared to tow. He's pulled it up near the access road, so we are going to stay green here, meaning that there's no need for the safety car here tonight. As Rattray White black flag, Seth Brown black flag. Hello, what?
Oh, wow. I'm looking at that too.
Being told incident points maybe, but there is also the issue of pit entries, and this is what happened. Let's watch him here. Oh. That is a huge red flag there, crossing over the solid white line here at the Red Bull Ring. So easy to do. I'm sure you're aware of it, Aaron, but you have to follow the pit entry lines on the inside and outside, and that has done his race in. Seth Brown, black flag now served, has just driven through the pits. I think that might be an incident point 1 for him. Rattray White, though, would he have done the same for incident points, or is he maybe... Let's see here, because if he screwed the pit entry up, entry's all good. Did he somehow make a mistake on the exit, which is a little hard to do here?
I can't see... It must be on the exit, because I can't see anything else where he could have got a black flag. He's coming in to serve it now. Ooh. Oh, and as he's coming to serve it, he nearly went over that line as well. He'll be so dirty with himself. That was going to be a massive bulk heap of points for him as he has to trail through pit lane.
I can see pit exit is very tight. Whether that was too much, but driving through the pits makes me think it could be an incident point 1. We'll have to see. Director Jack Kennedy says he's found it. Is this the pit exit? Yeah, it is the pit exit. And I'm being told watch the left and side. I saw this earlier, Aaron. And if he's been flagged for this, that is brutal in terms of the tiniest of errors there. That pit exit line, a little contoured and curved to match sort of a bit of a curve away that the road makes on corner exit. And if that's what's done him in, man, he is going to be absolutely fuming once he sees that back for himself.
He's filthy, but he does have the opportunity with 12 minutes of racing left to get himself back up into that top 3, but it's going to be a drive, an absolute drive from Zach if he wants to get back up there. But yeah, we're talking a millimetre that he's gone over the line there, and he's copped like a 40-second penalty, which is unfortunate. Some Min's admins asked me, is Jamie fuel saving? His times went way down. Possibly.
I'm going to say actually no at this stage. Not yet, anyways.
Well, the time, we're seeing that there's a 2.5 second gap. That 1 second that Cody Deeth pulled over that was because Cody Deeth was actually fuel saving a little bit. Yeah, a little bit more in the tank, less than a fuel stop, got an extra second on Jamie Christensen. So Cody Deeth's just showing us how to do it. That statement that he put through in the first race at the Nürburgring, he's definitely doing it again here.
To be honest, my timing says their pit stops were practically identical, and the lap times would roughly back that up, with only maybe a tenth or two. If we can actually get the last 3 laps up whilst we've still got the lap before the in-lap available, I have to say lap 20,
Oh, look at that. Yes.
that there screams, yeah, maybe, well, it's either a save or a minor error from Christensen, because, yeah, he's been ruthlessly consistent, and also being told consider it being pit entry. And to be honest, that's also probably a fair shout too, because we've now got, we're comparing in-lap, out-lap, and first flyer since pitting with that comparison there. So I think that says a lot there. That the pit stop times are basically the same, at least from what I can see, Aaron. And hopefully you can see the same, so we're not crossing wires on that one. But yeah,
it was all in the pits though. I think you're right on. Pit entry is where he's gained all that time. Maybe a little bit on exit. He might have got on the power a little bit early. Who knows? But yeah, that's well, the battle right now is not really a battle now for Cody Deeth. He feels right at home here in Europe. We'll see how he goes when we go to the US. Battles. Let's look for them, because it's getting a little bit. The top 3 are really separated at the moment. The only battle that we have at the moment is Jake Maloney, and Jake Maloney's having a race. He's in P8. He's right behind Morello here at the moment. If we jump on board with him at the moment, he's the only one going to be challenging. He has had shocker after shocker after shocker, and he's finally got himself a race to show what he can actually do. Anyone that's in the chat that knows anything about Jake, let me know. As he comes up here into turn 3, is he going to put his nose in front? No, he's going to hold out, but he does have a little bit over Morello at the moment in that Porsche versus Mercedes battle we're going on here.
I mean, yeah, unfortunately, I'm not necessarily, not been around long enough to really be able to give you a detailed story on Jake Maloney's experience, but can definitely say more used to seeing him involved with either generally, these days it's a Ford Mustang out of the Trans-Tasman stable, the number 29, and see him running around in things like V8 Scops, and of course recently Logic G Pro Invitational. Now that's been kicking up and about for the past 2 years and into season 3. So it is a little rare to see, well, at least it's been rare for me to see Jake in a GT3, but yeah, finally getting some a clean run after what's been a rough start to his season, and now making the most of it here. He's well and far away gaining the most positions in the race. I mean, the shout out in the chat to
yeah, I apologise,
Morella.
guys. I didn't mean to get his name wrong. I apologise.
Yeah, indeed. And there we go. Brad Newman's going to wave the white flag. I think Aaron on this alternate strategy with 8 minutes to go. He has needed to bring that car in to top off the remaining fuel. That was always what was going to be needed if the race would finish up this way. And yeah, for Marino, up 5 spots. Didn't quite make the graphic there for the most places gained. But indeed, certainly putting up a pretty fair fight in this one. Is when it comes to battles, they have started to fan out a little bit here as the race comes into its closing minutes, but do have ourselves a 4-way fight for 16th here with Sam Sprout looking to try and get a bit of a redemption up going. He's got Stuart Ellis, Woods, hard today. Be careful, Harrison Mitchell going to try and take that one off Ellis at turn 3, and Seth Brown trying to recover as it's going to be a drag race on the nose of the 05. He's got nowhere to go as they head down to turn 4. Ellis trying to force Mitchell to the white line on, well, spectators left now as we look from the outside of turn 4. Contact at the fenders once again as they run into turn 4. And now Mitchell
very
just
lucky not to
slams the
stop
door.
wiping.
Watch out for Ellis here though with the crisscross, Aaron, up towards turn 6.
Oh, there's going to be a how is they still on the track? Ellis has given him everything, and then Seth Brown's going to fire it up the inside. We've been here before, and it's happened again.
Both cars thankfully don't spin and then hit the fence, but well, that fragments that battle group unfortunately, and we'll have to check. I might even ask for a replay on that one, please, if we can, because it's been called in straight away. Maybe something with a bit of top down just to sort of see how that was looking, as speaking of other battles on track, we do have, yes, we've got Morella versus Maloney for 7th. Zach Smith, Jacob O'Reilly here fighting over 9th place. And then in the a little battle of their own, Dylan Shepherd versus Jesse Butler for 14th. There's watch here to see, can Smith hold on against the Ferrari in his slipstream? He's not looking overly defensive for now, and in fact he's going to let O'Reilly have the inside for turn 4 this time by. And happily tuck back inside us. Yep, this is the kind of angle I was hoping to see. Thank you very much. And Aaron, here comes another one of our Burling Motor Group replays here tonight. So, Seth Brown, this almost was a lovely invitation. It's just gone horribly wrong any second about now.
Yeah, it's I just don't understand where the and that's where the contact was made there. I'm sure that was a deja vu moment for us, because I'm pretty sure those guys tangled up at the start of this race as well. And it's going to happen again. I'm trying to look if there's going to be any infringement happen for that, but I don't know who's going to be to blame.
I can tell you who's been given the fault. It's the 05 of Seth Brown, and it's a bit minor. It's minor than what we've seen so far tonight. It's just it's a redress order. So 05 and 73 to swap places on the track, and then get back on with racing.
Well, that's going to be good, because that'll get us back into that little battle pack that we had just before. So they're going to be at it again. I'd imagine that the same thing's going to happen in about 2 minutes after they redress.
Yeah, well, if the redress takes any longer, you'll have Kobe Williams, Brad Newman, Dylan Burst, Caleb Hydes arrive on their gearbox. So looking at it again one last time from even further up above on the Burling Motor Group replay, you can see Ellis is, trying to hold him tight. And it's a tough one, but I think I would agree with the race control call there. Ellis has the right to try and pin Stuart Brown down to the inside as the redress is being completed back at turn 1 or something like that. And
we're on,
get
baby.
Straight back to it indeed here on the live pitches. Ellis trying for the drive around the outside of the hairpin at turn 3, but Brown's got a nose ahead, and yet we might need this angle once more here, Aaron, as down at turn 4 we go.
Turn 4 on the outside is... Brown on the inside there. He's got the line done, and he's just pushed Ellis out wide. That's what he needed to do, because otherwise we're going to have an absolute instant replay of what we just happened the lap before.
I mean, almost kind of wished... Well, not that they had an instant, but maybe if Stuart Ellis could have tried one last time to hang it around the outside there, and things had gone well for both of them, to be clear. That we had a good duel. But yeah, they keep that up. Kobe Williams is bringing himself, Brad Newman, Dylan Burst, and just off the back of shot, Caleb Hydes along for a bit of a ride. So if they're not careful, or if they've overworked the tyres in that little phase, which they might be sensitive to it, we'll have to keep that in mind, given that the mid-speed corners around here do add a decent amount of load on things as they rip down the front straight lap. 28 now underway for them, as our lead-up is already halfway around the lap. And looking to try and find things. That is an exchange of position, if I'm not mistaken. Maloney going to get a spot on Morella, as we'll find out where that's happened. As unfortunately, more drama for drivers in the hands of Harrison Mitchell and Caleb Hydes. Black flags from iRacing next to their name. I would suspect, since they've been on track for a while without too many dramas.
Davison is just pulling... No, he's gone off the track. Denny Davison, sorry.
Oh, bit of fender rubbing there between Maloney and Morella, but they get the move done. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Just not often seeing... We don't often see GT3 cars lean on each other and at least appreciate it all that much. You can get away a little bit, it seems, as back to live we go once more. And yep, this is very much becoming a 5-way fight. And Caleb Hydes, well, he's got a flag that he needs to now clear if he wants to finish without having his time smashed backwards, or potentially even disqualified from the race by iRacing itself. Same here for Harrison Mitchell, iRacing black flag to his name. He needs to clear, and he'll get that one done. Was that a little close on pit entry? I literally turned away for half a second, which did me no favours. Hydes is going to press on, though, for another lap at least. So he'll need to be careful that doesn't convert to a disqualification, which will see him ripped off the racetrack and out of this one here. Ellis now coming under some proper pressure from Kobe Williams, and losing the tail of Seth Brown here in this, what was scrap for 17th, what was in the fight for 15th, might now be for 18th on back here.
Yeah, it's a 5-way battle for 17th, and that's how the cookie crumbles, and these GT3 drivers some names in there. We've got Dylan in there with the broken collarbone. Newman, he's no slouch. We've got Williams in there as well, Ellis and Brown. It's shaping up. If we've got one more lap here to go, I think these guys are going to send it. Caleb Hines in the behind there might find himself up a few positions if they go for it. Oh, there's a move on here on Ryan Houlihan and Dylan Shepherd for P13. On the outside is Dylan Shepherd, and he's let him go. Will he get the undercut done? No, sorry, no. He's just slipped in there behind.
Oh boy. We might need a replay of that one if we can, because we've had one heck of a moment under brakes into turn 4 on the current lap, half a lap ago. And maybe if we get a chance to see it before the white flag, or maybe have to queue it up for afterwards, because it's now with the stewards as well, because there's been complaints either way of contact and moving under brakes being thrown. Here's Shepherd. Look how far away Houlihan is here. Wow. And remember, they come out of the corner side by side. So how's this for a lunge and a half from Shepherd?
Oh, he's been held for long as well. That's not iRacing. That's like Need for Speed right there.
The accusation there, Houlihan moving across under brakes, was what came from the 43 camp.
Oh, okay.
Houlihan, probably not too impressed that there was definitely some barging and elbows out required to finish off the move. As for Cody Death, he looks like he was it's a solid fight for race 1. Has walked away after the pit stop here tonight to make it another sweep of around here in the ANZ Series GT3 National Championship. The fights are not over though. Further on down the pack, top
Williams
4 sorted.
Bass, yes.
Rattray White, Dench, Jake Maloney has arrived all of a sudden on the back of the 83. Is that Porsche going to cough on its way to the line? It looks like it's close, but he will make it there. Maloney up 17 spots to end the race, and then we are right into it here with this fight. It's now 18th on back. Seth Brown looks to be safe here, but can Kobe Williams get to the back of Stuart Ellis? No, he's now worried about Brad Newman
Kobe Williams
towards the finish.
Brad Newman's going to go on the outside as they go into turn 9. He's going to switch it back. Will he get up? Oh, he's going into the pits. That's Ellis.
Black flag. Same for Kobe Williams.
Oh, and look at the drive Bass has got. He's going to get Newman across the line.
Gets him.
Well done. Broken collarbone and all, it doesn't matter. He'll still go across the line for P19, I think that was for. Well done from the Eclipse team.
It'll be 19th on track as the results are in, which means we can show you the gap at the line. 9/1000ths of a second. Get this position for Dylan Burse. He might be advanced a couple of spots due to post-race penalties as well. In fact, yeah, he will be, because Williams is classified across the line ahead of him and has a penalty to be served. And yep, there we go. Results have just come in and shuffled him up to 18th there. And, well, yeah, a great race once again, it seems, from Cody Death. And going to be hard to stop if he keeps this up, if I'm not mistaken. He will, though, headed into the pit lane and wrap things up here for the feature. Aaron, and I'll hand to you here for the results from our final race tonight at the Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, race 2 results. Cody Death comes through for the Eclipse SimSport team. 4 in a row for Cody Death. That's another clean sweep here at in round 2. So he's going to get to about 610 points. Jamie Christensen, the only Vermilion driver, he had his teammate there, but got unlucky on the pit exit. He comes through for P2. Giannu Lutsu, great drive for him into P3. He'll be stoked with that result. The Team PNG driver of Simon Nicholson in for P4. Zach Rattray White, like I was just saying before, he was definitely on for a P3 there, maybe even a P2, but finds himself in position 5, 22 seconds off the leader. Not a bad drive there. Matthew Dench did a bit of a comeback drive there to get himself into P6. Jake Maloney did a mega job out there. He started right at the back of the grid. I think he made the most spots up here. We could see what that Mercedes-Benz can actually do. Good drive from him into P7. Moreno Morella, for everyone watching at home, part of the Bristol Esports team, into P8. Jacob O'Reilly into P9, and Zachary Smith makes up the top 10, and that is provisional, unfortunately, because I think there's a couple other guys that should have been up in there. as we go through into crisscross racing. Comes through. Adam Hughes comes into P11. Simon Cox, Ryan Houlihan, Dylan Shepherd, and Jesse Butler round up our top 15. Samuel Sproul in the Blackout OPR did a mega job into P16. Seth Brown, we saw him in the fight. Dylan Burse, well done from him with the collarbone issue. Brad Newman got pipped at the line there by Burse into P19, and Simon Chadwick makes up our top 20. As we go down the field here, Harrison Mitchell, Caleb Hides, and Chewy. I think, Chewy came from Vermilion Motorsports into P23. Kobe Williams in the Eclipse Motorsport team. He probably doesn't want to re-watch that race anytime soon. The Dynamic Sim Sport man, Stuart Ellis into P25. The privateer of Danny Davison. This is his first race here. He had to exit out of this. I don't know why. Sean Madison also exited out, and Teo Sorrento will go check on his well-being a little bit later because I think he had a bit of a moment there. Good racing. Enjoyed it. Hopefully we've got someone knocking on the door at the moment so we can have a chat with, which I think Cody D said there. We'll get him in here shortly. Dan, great racing.
It sure was, yeah. I mean, obviously a couple of elbows out moments up and down the field, and a bit of unfortunate moments there for a couple of drivers that definitely made things up. I think also incident points might be one of the stories of the race tonight, as well as that pit entry and pit exit. But I think best time to chat to our race winner, round winner, and man who's now looking pretty comfortable at the top of the table, Cody Death. Well, you were pressured in race one. You looked like it was a little bit less pressure at the start of the opening half of this race here tonight, Cody. But after that pit stop, it looks like you unlocked something pretty solid there in the Lamborghini. And it looks like also you may have just gone and slapped down a pretty quick lap to wrap the race off at the very end there. Well done.
Thank you very much. Car certainly came alive after the pit stop. It was a bit sluggish at the start. First, 10 laps or so. Hard to find a rhythm also, but after the pit stop, the car was flying. I was surprised. I was just setting fastest lap every single time. So yeah, it was good.
A couple of times tonight we've seen drivers in the Ferrari look pretty good in a straight line, and I guess you probably would have felt that more in race one than race two. But what was it like? Did you feel like you were punching a pretty big hole with your Lamborghini around the Red Bull Ring here tonight, or in the end not really too much of a concern for you as the race played out?
Oh, absolutely. The Ferraris are rocket ships in a straight line. It's if they're close enough, like 0.4, 0.5, they can have a crack if they really want to. Luckily, I got about 0.7, and they can't really gain too much in the draft. But yeah, they were pretty quick when they were close here.
And unfortunately, it looks like a couple of your competitors tonight coming unstuck with incident limits. Obviously, here at the Red Bull Ring, there's a lot of track that you can use, and a lot of track that, unfortunately, though, you're not meant to be using around here. And so that does get some people in trouble with the automated limits and such. How much of a concern was that for you? I can see here officially after the race, you got 15 incident points. So I guess in a sense, would you say that's you sort of being calculated with that? Because that adds up to about one every other lap, every 2 laps. So and giving yourself some buffer margin there as well to be safe.
Yeah, I was using a bit more than I would have liked at the start of the race, just trying to get a gap. Towards the end, I sort of called it off. I only got about 3 or 4 in the last stint, but yeah, the first stint, when everyone was right behind me, I was pushing hard, so got a couple X's there, but managed to keep it under the limit.
And final question from me, I guess. Yeah, we take 1 week off next week after doing this double header to open the season. Given that means you get 2 weeks to prepare for round 3, does that sort of change anything about the way you'll be approaching that next race at the Hockenheim Ring, or will it be much the same of or whatever's been happening out the back, and hocefully more of the same come the race night here 2 weeks on Saturday?
Yeah, I guess it gives me a bit more time to, get some laps under my belt at Hockenheim, which I'm looking forward to, but I've also got Sebring 12 Hour this weekend, of course, so that's a big priority at the moment. I should have a bit more time than the last 2 rounds to get a bit more laps and a bit more practicing.
Well, if anything, Aaron, before I hand to you, that's definitely a bit of a warning shot, perhaps across the bow for those who want to challenge Cody. If any questions that you want to add to wrap up the interview, because it looks like we've just got Cody here to close things out for the night.
Yeah, just Cody, it's sensational win, by the way. You've put the car completely on pole. I was just listening to what you were just saying there to Dan. Practice. Now, for all these drivers out there, you get out there and you practice, obviously.
Yes, absolutely. If I didn't do practice, I probably would be midfield or worse if I didn't do any laps. So, yeah, practice is quite important. Make sure you nail everything, nail the lines, nail quali, practice, everything. It's quite important.
Well, you certainly did that. I mean, another perfect round for you. Practice makes perfect. For any of you guys that think you can just come in here and take top spot, you're going to need to try harder than that. Get some laps underneath your belt and have a good dig of it. Cody, that's put you well up the front of the field. You're going to have a teammate that's probably going to be coming back from injury, hopefully soon, to be your rear gunner, because the looks like the Vermilion boys were really putting the pressure on you.
Yeah, they were quick this round. See what happens next round, but yeah, certainly they're very quick here. Hopefully Dylan can be back to using two hands in a couple of weeks, but we'll see how that goes.
Well, thanks very much, Cody. I'll let you go celebrate with the team. I think the debrief is going to be very good at some stages, and some of the debrief is going to be pretty horrible for what happened in the in the start of that race too. But thanks for the win. Give us a shout out, mate.
I just want to thank all the Eclipse Sim Sports boys, Damon Woods, 5-6 Sim Coaching, and yeah, I'd like to thank parents, of course. Wouldn't be here without them. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much, Cody, and enjoy your night.
Thank you. We'll do. Have a good one.
I might take the little break we got here to just thank everyone at home for watching. Thank all the people in the chat for being involved, and you are involved. And I have to thank Race Control, because their job was full on tonight. We had Joshua Horton in there, Tom Brown, Benny Faulkner was in there making sure it all goes smoothly. Kevin Norman was also in there, and Jared Farrell, I think, was behind the safety car, which we didn't get to see. Maybe next fortnight we'll get to see that. Dan, I'll get us out of here. You have been watching the 2024 ANZ GT3 National Championship. Thank you all for watching. From Dan, Jay, and myself, have a great night, and see you next round at another ring, the Hockenheim ring. So toodles from me. Thank you.